All right, we'll go ahead and get started for our August Simpson County School Board meeting. First, want to welcome everyone to tonight's board meeting. Also want to wish Nancy Ools quick recovery. She had knee replacement today, so she's not going to be with us obviously tonight. She had her knee replacement. She just told David everything went well, and so I want to remember her. Also, I want to thank all the students and staff at all 6 of our schools for a great start to the school year. You know, that doesn't happen just by chance, and our principals and assistant principals and teachers and everybody have done a tremendous job in getting us prepared for the start of the school year. Also, just want to mention a little bit about, it's on our Facebook page, it's on all our social media pages. You can call here at Central Office and we can get you hooked into our mentoring program. We are looking for mentors for students at Simpson and Lincoln Elementary. We've had that program, but we're really trying to revitalize that. So if you're interested in being a mentor, we would love to have you mentor our young people. If you read the statistics and things, it says that 1 in 3 children need mentors or don't have a mentor in their life. So if that's the case, we've got 3,000, so we're going to need about 300. I know that's not necessarily we're going to have, but we will. You know, if you are interested and feel like you can do that, we would love for you to be able to do that. Only time, it's not a money commitment, it's none of that, it's just time. A couple times a month for 20-30 minutes with our little kiddos in 1st through 5th grade. So if you feel like you could help us with that, we would appreciate that. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Webster.
Thank you, Mr. Slosser. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the board. And just a reminder, this is a special call meeting, and the only items to be discussed is what's on the agenda. I want to call this meeting to order, and the first order of business is to approve the agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Heidi, second by Tara. Any discussion on these items before we approve them? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. The next is to recognize the GSP 2019 participants.
All right, we're excited to have, we had 3 students that went to GSP this past summer, and we would like, on behalf of the Simpson County Schools, we'd like to present them with a certificate, and also we're going to ask you if you'd like to talk a little bit about any of your experiences. You're more than welcome to. We'd like to hear about what you've done and where, you know, at least where you went, and I know where some of you went, but maybe the board may not know where you went and what you studied and, you know, those types of things. So first, we have Abby Beals. Come up here, Abby. Hunter Graves. Come up here, Hunter. And Luke Webb. Thank you, guys. Y'all gotta get your picture first, and then and whoever wants to talk first can. I know y'all can. All right. Got it. So, who wants to go first? Tell us where you went and anything you want to tell us about that experience. It doesn't.
I can go first. I just stand right
You
here.
stand right there.
I went to Morehead State University, and I went for business, accounting, and entrepreneurship. And me and then 18 other scholars, we studied various business things. We learned presentation skills. We got to present posters where we had to come up with a creative idea. And my group's idea was to kind of change the college loans because it was such a big deal and issues with them. So we tried to come up with an innovative idea to maybe lessen the effects of that a little bit. And we got to present it in front of the head of the business department over at Morehead. And we just got to spend time with we had 340 of us at Morehead. And so I got to meet a bunch of people there, and we just grew close over that time period.
What was your favorite thing that you did when you were up there? Like the one thing that just really stands out in your mind? It can be anything.
Probably just all the time. We spent a lot of time playing cards. A lot because we had free time and we weren't allowed to have our phones unless we were in our dorm room.
Uh-huh.
And the first week, it's the first time really since phones weren't allowed, you had to go up and introduce yourself and just start a conversation. And so it was kind of awkward for a bunch of us, but it was also neat to know that I have the ability just to go up to somebody and start a conversation and get to know them.
I'm glad you had such a good experience. Thanks for sharing.
And
Who's next?
Okay. I went to Center College in Danville, and I studied historical analysis. And we did a lot of stuff. I remember we met Wendell Berry, we went to his house, and we got to interview him because we studied the history of Kentucky, and we focused on the history of magical practices and voodoo and stuff like that. So we did a mock Salem witch trial, and we went to the historical society, and then I also met a lot of people who I became really good friends with over the 5 weeks. So I still talk to today, even a month later. And yeah.
What was your favorite thing?
I remember one thing that stood out to me was at the historical society, they had a lock of Andrew Jackson's hair there.
Ooh.
It was real, and I remember it just really kind of blew my mind. It was kind of
Good.
I'm Hunter. I went to GSP at Bellarmine University, which is up in Louisville, and I was in political and legal issues. So in political and legal issues, we got to talk with several different leaders on both sides of the aisle. For example, we did talk with Andy Bashir, who is running for governor this year, and we also got to talk to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. It's crazy. We had to get Secret Service detail. It was surreal experience. But also in that class, we did a mock trial, and I was on the defense team in my science line. Not to brag or anything. That was probably a cool experience.
Was that your favorite thing?
That, and we also got to see a district court being ran in Louisville, so it's cool. Seeing that.
Would you all recommend other students apply for this GSP program?
definitely.
Was that good of an experience?
It's probably one of the best experiences we've ever had.
Good.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
All right.
Thank you.
Next is presentation of teaching and learning. Ms. Shalina.
Hard to follow students, but I'm going to count them as my students. Okay, so maybe next year we'll just let that go. But I am excited to at least talk to you all about kind of our, if you want to call it our theme for the 2019-2020 school year, which as you can see, some of our graphics that we are trying to brand throughout our schools, and I think Mr. Schlosser is going to do even more work with that. But that is created by Krista Jackson, so I got to give her a huge shout out for that. I'd love to take credit for it, but this presentation, I actually did parts of it with our new teachers, just to kind of, again, this is how, we do business in Simpson County, and I just told her, I said, oh, by the way, could you just jazz that up a little bit for the board meeting? And then I got this thing. I'm like, no, they're going to know I did not do all that. You really overshot this one. And so I was in another meeting when I got to communicate that to everybody. I always start with our mission and vision because, again, everything is based upon what is our goal? What are we ultimately trying to do? And one of the things I appreciate with Mr. Schlosser, he said, just basically keep it short where you can say it in 5 words or less kind of thing. It's empowering students to be light. And so I talked to about that. And then I hope you noticed our bulletin board and just different things. We got our, let's see if my bracelet's still on there, our smile bracelets, people wearing smiles everywhere. It's not just about the fact that we are happy and love kids and love working in Simpson County. It's also about research. So if you can click on, you can click on video for me on the next, go back to the other side there. Oh, now you're, yeah. She made it.
We start each day by greeting every kid at the door. Good morning, guys. You look pretty. Thank you, baby.
all about the feel-good smile and be happy to be here. It really is about increasing academic achievement. And there's research behind the fact that just simply greeting students at the door, shaking their hand, giving them a high five, especially calling them by name if you can, to let them know, you matter, I see you, I know you, I want to help you, actually increases their engagement by over 20%, which I can certainly see that, because again, I don't really want to learn from someone who doesn't really know me. You build those relationships, and I truly think it's going to impact overall student achievement. And so basically, again, and I don't know if you can see that little poem, but I talked to them about, I want for our teachers to communicate that every student's life has a purpose, their story is important to us, their dreams count, their voice matters, and hopefully we help them have choices later on so that whatever they choose in life, they make an impact. And so we kind of build our whole climate culture here in Simpson County based around, first with PBIS, and I know you all get many reports from Mr. Kilburn on our behavior. So obviously PBIS is a lot about just setting clear expectations and making sure our students understand those. And then Leader in Me is more of that principle-centered living, and again, how do you become a more effective, efficient adult later on in life. And then Renaissance, encompasses all of that. It really truly says what motivates you, what are your strengths, what do you want to do in life, what's your purpose, what's your voice. And again, all of this is pretty much based on the exact same research, has the same objectives and goals and core beliefs. But I do want to just share with you a little bit more about the Renaissance program, and that is, they basically call it the 5 R's. And so you can see those there: respect, recognize, reward, reinforce, and hopefully that equals great results. And as many of you know, we sent a large amount of our staff to the Jostens Renaissance Conference over the summer. And the high school started that with Mr. Schlosser, and then I think within a year or 2 years, the middle school kind of picked that up and went. And then now we have added Lincoln and Simpson. So Lincoln went last year. This would be year 2 for them. This was the first year that Simpson went. And I even believe one from Franklin went as well, right? Yeah. So it was really neat, again, to kind of just continue to build capacity and scale that work all the way through our elementaries. So as you can see up in that left-hand corner, we had students presenting, which is really cool to kind of see, our own students getting to present to adults in the room, and they're busily taking notes, going, oh, that's a good idea, or we should try that. And again, they led that whole thing. And then you can see some of our teachers presenting at the bottom from Lincoln, and they were very excited about that, the new kids on the block. It was really cool. But up on the right-hand side, one of the keynote speakers actually talked about growth mindset, and I know you all know that we talk a lot about that here in Simpson County. We have all of our staff trained in the growth mindset, brought Chip Southward into our leadership retreat with our administrators, so it just feels like it's all tying together, if that makes sense. But I just wanted to share just a little clip of the excitement that you see. Go to the next slide, that done that little video. That nice one, really nice. Just punch you up. That, but lined up at the doors just waiting to get into this, speaker really, but it's more of a rally, and that's kind of what we're wanting our schools to do as well. When you have to roll out what's your message, what's your vision, what's your purpose, or just even if you're going to talk about the 7 habits, whatever it is, also get them fired up, get them excited about it. And I know that as you walked in, you probably saw the video the first day for the high school, and again, who wouldn't want to be playing cornhole and putting their hands down and commit? I mean, it's not just sit down in rows and hear about the rules and the, guidelines and everything. We're excited to have you back, and we're excited that you're here. And so that's what I think they try to actually model at that conference for you too. But one of the really cool parts about the presentation by Lincoln is they did talk about the fact that the rallies are fun, right? But that's not what it's all about. It is also, again, about giving back to your community. And so they had asked for kind of their student council, leadership group, Renaissance group, whatever you want to call it, to come up with a community service project. And so they asked them about Habitat for Humanity. I mean, they listed a ton, Boys and Girls Club, and finally they landed on the Rosie Foundation, which you all know what that is. And so, if you'll click to the next one, they even, brought this back, and they now have a memorial there at Lincoln Elementary for her, so I just wanted to show you that as well. And then, of course, still the leader in me, and how does that all encompass it? But you can kind of see that, and you'll just go through those. Just a few slides I think are really neat, of just pictures throughout our building of how we have the habits and different jobs and empowering kids to lead in their schools. And then so I'll end with, this is at Simpson Elementary, and I absolutely love this. They just added this. We are one, we are family, we are Wildcats. And so again, Simpson Elementary has done a wonderful job with the Leader in Me and the PBIS work, and they have done leadership days, kind of stand, but they understand that the Renaissance and all of it just, again, goes together, and how they continue to just get excited each year about having those kids set their end in mind, and then how can they help them get them there. And I hope we can show you how they're continuing to get that done, even at, again, the third grade level, getting those kids on benchmark for reading, and then we will see again, hopefully, the great results at middle school and high school, so that we're not doing as many interventions up there. But do you all have any questions for me as far as, that was, I know, a lot, kind of, but.
All look good.
Well, we have started out with a really fun year. I did not actually put a picture of Mr. Kilburn on here with his smiles this way kind of thing, but I got several, lovely messages of having, I think he was down here on the corner.
He's on the corner.
I did not get to see all that, because I had the singer for opening day with me, and she was amazing. But yeah, so even when you can get that guy involved, you can get everybody involved, right? So I think we really are trying to make the concept of not being just individualized schools on an island, and all coming together as one system and one family. So
Good. That's
it's going to
good.
be a great year. And if not, let's go get to walk around with our little smiles and look fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Smith.
Yes. Next item is the visitors' comments. Next is the superintendent staff reports.
All right, first on item A, Superintendent Standard 1 report. For the next 7 meetings, I'll be reporting on it's part of my, I don't really know the official name of it. I call it Superintendent K-Tip, but I'm not really sure what that is. But just give a quick report on each standard. And Standard 1 is strategic leadership, and that's working to create a shared vision throughout the district. And like Ms. Smith mentioned earlier, our vision that I have spoke to our entire staff about on opening day, in our ILTM and our principals meetings, and any, with I've met with transportation and all the different groups. It's about empowering students to be life ready, and building that mission, from preschool all the way through to through the 12th grade. We've had these open discussions and dialogue about that with the entire staff. And our admin team yesterday what today is, Thursday. Was it yesterday? Okay. Yesterday in our ILTM, we started out with, talking about, creating a mission and vision of all of our schools being together, creating that strategic leadership that we need to have, that the high school counts on Simpson, and Simpson counts on Franklin Elementary, and Franklin and the high school and the middle school and Lincoln count on Franklin and Simpson. That we're, this is not, the ultimate thing is the end product, which is when they leave here, and it takes all of us to do that. So really, pushing that mission and vision, and having that, and I've told everybody that will listen that that's what's going to drive our decisions. Is what are we doing to empower these kids to be life ready? And I think that we've got to keep that at the forefront, and make every classroom. One thing I was able to do, I was able to make it to every classroom in the entire district on opening day. I started at Franklin Elementary, and I visited every classroom, every cafeteria, every area in the entire district. I finished about 2:45 at West Campus. So it took me a little while, but I was able to make all those, and just for the sake of just being able to, being visible and letting them know that that's kind of what we're about here, and this is what we want to do. So that's kind of the report on Superintendent Standard 1, strategic leadership. So You have the rest of the reports there in front of you. Are there any questions about any of those?
Yeah, on the drug testing program review, yes, it says 200 tests with 5 positive results. For what we're spending on this and what we're looking for are we getting the best bang for the buck out of this?
I think it would be better if more students were tested and they felt there was a greater likelihood that their number would get called. You know, and when we started, we had a grant, we were testing a large number of students, and most students that were in the pool got called at some point in the year. And we're far enough away from that now that I think that there is a diminishing return because most students know they're probably not going to get their name called. But to test more students is going to have to put more money into it, and I don't know what that number would be, and I don't know if there are any. I can explore to see if there are any options but I don't know that there is. I think really when we started with Premier, they were the only one that offered this kind of service anywhere around, but we can take another look at that and see what might be available. But yeah, I think, and I don't know what the cost is per test, but and what it would cost to add more, but I can explore all those things too, and I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I think the more we test, the better we're going to have as far as keeping people from doing the drug, keeping the students from doing the drugs and other things. But and they're still being anonymous. They're coming off of a computer draw, right?
That is correct. Yeah, it's just a number. They come in with numbers, and then when they get there, they look up, what student matches that number that they've drawn, and then they just call those students down. And we have nothing to do on our end with who gets tested. As a matter of fact, Ms. Phillips is the only person at the school that even knows what day they're coming. So that the principals, nobody knows until they show up that day with a list of students to test. And the principals will just say, block off these days because we've got ACT or homecoming or whatever. Don't come these days. You can't come these days. And it's completely anonymous on our end, and on the even on the end of the testers, they don't even know who they've actually pulled until they get here. So there's no manipulation of the process as far as who gets testing. It's very strategic on their end to make sure it's random and it protects us from any allegation that they're trying to manipulate the process.
Good. And on the same note, the drug dog, has it been brought in? I know last part of the year at one
I had a
time.
conversation with Officer Holloway today, and the dog's coming very soon. I know what it is. I don't want to say.
That's fine. I just know we were told.
Scheduled date within the next week. Let's say that.
We were told it would be coming on a pretty regular basis, and I knew it hadn't been coming on a regular basis.
That's true. We'll see him within the next week.
Okay.
And my impression, and forgive me for interjecting here, was that the dog was going to do more than just search, but it was also supposed to be a bridge between our students and law enforcement, that the dog was going to be around and the children and the students would get a chance to meet the dog. At least that's how I remember Chief Solomon somewhat portraying that to us.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I know these
Okay.
dogs are not allowed to come in and play with people.
Not play,
or
but
even be
a
petted or
bridge.
anything.
Yeah, but there was going to be
Yeah.
sort of this discussion.
My understanding is just that at least once a month it would be present around campus. And
Okay.
that hadn't happened, but like I said, I talked to our new resource officer, Caleb Holloway, and he's an energetic young man and good officer, and not saying anybody else wasn't doing it, he was a great resource officer. But we talked today about a plan to make sure that we have him on campus at least once a month. And actually, Caleb came to me to talk about it. And like I said, we'll see him within the next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
A comment about the ACT on the reports. Great job. That was impressive.
It was.
Yeah, that's the best
Yeah,
we've had.
it was
Yeah.
awesome. So I just wanted to say thank you. Good job.
Any more questions on the staff reports? The next item is the consent agenda. Need a
Motion.
Motion by Heidi.
Second.
Second by Jennifer. Discussion on these items. One last question on the payments and bills and salaries and regular accounts to Amanda. In this, we always have our fuel bill to Johnson's. Are we still doing okay with that process that we're doing on that for the money?
Yes, or you mean,
For like the fuel cards versus what we were
Yes.
doing before?
yes. We know that, fuel costs are rising again, so you're gonna see an increase in costs, but when we switched to that system, we saw a significant savings because of being able to track, and that's still there.
Okay, I was wanting to see if it was, because I knew it looked like it was running pretty steady as far as the cost was on it.
Yeah.
One other item before we approve this is item 8G, which is the West Campus Student Handbook. I'd like to make a motion to amend the handbook, and that is to remove the last paragraph on page 8 under the breakfast and lunch, because it actually says they're charged for their breakfast and lunch, and they're not charged for the breakfast and lunch. So for us to approve the handbook, that needs to be removed from there. So I'd like to make the motion to amend that handbook.
Second.
Any discussion on that motion? Can I need to approve the motion to amend the handbook? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, is there any other discussion on the consent items?
I just had that one question that I asked you earlier about the middle school cheerleading fundraiser. Was that in this section, David?
Mhm.
I can't find it right now off the top.
Very bottom.
Okay, there was, and I just remembered it struck my mind because we had discussed it with Amanda about our teachers having businesses and whether they could do things with the schools. And the middle school cheerleaders were selling Kelly corn, and I just wanted to make sure that was on the up and up. It's on there.
The question is it supposed to be on there?
They cannot.
I did not see the Kelly corn. So no,
It's not supposed to be
it
on
would
there.
be against board policy.
And we're gonna have to remove that.
So-
So I'm gonna make a motion to remove the sale of the Kelly corn from the middle school cheerleading.
And the only difference is the middle school cheerleading is an external booster.
So,
It's still a school function under the Red Book, so it would still
Yeah.
fall
I just
in.
want to point out that it
I
is,
just-
because that would be a question, it is an external booster.
just feel like we need to be
Did you get
very
that motion, Jamie?
clear.
Need a second on that?
Second.
Second. Jennifer? Any other discussion on this? All in favor of removing this item from the consent agenda? Say
Aye.
Any opposed? Any other questions or comments? Vote on the consent item with the amendment to item 8G and with the removal of the fundraiser for the cheer. All in favor of the consent item, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next is action items, and the first one is a request to approve curriculum consultant contract for Jana Kirshner.
Motion.
Motion by Heidi, second by Tara. Discussion on this item.
Any questions about?
We're bringing her back.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is a request to approve the amended certified special ed stipends.
Motion.
Motion by Heidi, second by Jennifer. Discussion on this item.
It's just what we discussed at our,
Work session.
Yep.
Yeah, work session.
Raising the number of people that are able to receive it, so.
All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Next is a request to approve the amended job description 2.05 for the Student Data Management and Infinite Campus Administrator Assistant to Director of Pupil Personnel.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Heidi, second by Tara. Discussion on this item.
Questions on that?
We discussed this on
Yep.
the work session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item is a request to approve the budget for funds received from partnership with BG Education Management Solutions.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Heidi, second by Jennifer. Discussion on this item.
It's just our contract with Confucius.
Confucius Institute. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is a request to approve the consultant contract for RTC.
Motion.
Motion by Heidi, second by Tara. Discussion on this item. I'll do that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next is the request for partial payment to Franklin Simpson High School football team for charter buses to Franklin, Tennessee.
Motion.
Motion
Second.
by Heidi, second by Jennifer. Discussion on this item.
Well, that is paying for whatever take 2 school buses, and then they'll pay for the rest.
Question, comments?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next is a request to approve the purchase of band instruments.
Motion.
Motion by
Second, and Nancy's doing a cheer, right? As she told us.
Yes. She wanted to make sure everybody knew that she was absolutely, totally in support.
It's a good thing. Comments, questions?
No, glad to do it.
Yeah.
Our band directors are extremely excited. Talked
Yeah.
to me today, so he's
Oh.
excited.
We're glad we
Tooting
can
their
do
horns,
it.
aren't they?
Yeah, tooting their horns, girl.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
Jennifer, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Okay,
We're done.
this was longer than the last one.
Was it?
Still shorter.
There's gonna be longer ones, I promise.
It's your fault. It's your fault. You played the video.
Hey, it was good.
It was good. We still. We had to do the amendments and amendments and all the amendments we've been on.